I mean, it's recording now. I saw a meme that was like the Spice Girls and Salt and Pepper should have gone on a tour. And I 100% agree with that. Because, you know.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Spice Girls, Salt and Pepper.
No, I don't think their music really meshes well together. So.
Oh, Murdock.
Can you list the Spice Girls? Isn't it like...
Yeah, there's Scary Spice. There's Baby Spice. Yep. There's Sporty Spice. Yes, there's another Spice.
There's
Ginger Spice.
Ginger Spice. Yeah, I think wasn't Ginger in there?
Yeah, Ginger Spice was in there, but then there was one that was just Mel B. She wasn't a Spice.
I don't like it.
I don't either. She fucked up the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole entire thing was fucked up.
I'm gonna look it up now because I'm curious.
Why couldn't they?
Oh, hold on one second.
Here, look, Spice Girls. Let's see. Thanks, Bing. Not Chandler Bing, but Bing.com, who's not a sponsor.
All right, so let's see here. Spice Girls.
Posh Spice?
Oh, yes, Posh.
Oh, you're right.
She married Victoria Beckham. Or no, she is Victoria Beckham.
About Ginger Spice.
No.
What? She married herself?
Yeah, she did.
I saw that on one of those shows.
What show?
Discovery Channel?
Which one? The Discovery Channel?
My upset. No, yeah.
Planet Earth
or something?
Bend It Like Beckham?
My weird obsession.
All right, so there's Scary Spice, Shorty Spice, Baby Spice, Ginger Spice, Posh Spice. And then Mel B is Scary Spice.
Poultry Spice.
Yes.
I mean, because the name's pretty scary. It tracks.
And then Spice Rack. Is that a thing? Spice Rack?
One of them the sporty
Spice
one.
Racks are a thing.
I don't know why this sticks with me as a kid. I remember reading about this. Sporty Spice used to bite her toenails.
How do you know this?
It's like I just read it right now.
He's like, I was just Googling Spice
TV
Girl
when I was
facts.
A kid, right? Back like when they were really popular, and it's just stuck with me the whole time because I'm like, one, who would eat their toenails? Two, she's really flexible. And three, she must have a lot of power in those jobs.
Well, okay, so wait, you say she's really flexible. Hold on. Yep. You said she's really flexible, but the fact that she eats her toenails doesn't necessarily mean she eats them straight off the toe. She could clip them, save them, put them in a bowl, and cereal them.
I guess you just have to tell you what she wants, what she really, really wants.
I'm glad we're recording this because we could clip some of this stuff for the Damn That's Podcasting clip show. When we're like, oh shit.
When they sleep, that's the Spice Rack? That's where they stay?
Yeah, like their bed. Like, do you think they sleep in like 4-layer bunk beds like on tour?
I thought it was just their bra.
It's a double-decker bus.
Maybe.
All I know is they had a movie and I watched it.
You watched it?
Why I did? Yeah, man. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was like 8th grade, 7th grade. I must have been really obsessed with them. Listen, I had 2 sisters, so I was always watching like MTV and stuff.
So you
like pop-up video,
So were you obsessed with them, or were your sisters obsessed with them? Therefore, you were somewhat obsessed by proxy.
I don't know where obsessed came from.
It translated. You said obsessed.
You said it. I didn't just make it up. I wasn't like, oh man, let me just throw a word out there.
I think you guys said it first.
Oh, you definitely said you were obsessed at one point.
Yeah.
I just think, hey, this is what I was going to say. It's like, hey, welcome to Damn That's Podcasting, where we talk about nothing and you like it. Hopefully you can maybe, I don't know, relate to what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And if you can't, find a different fucking podcast.
I love it. So you are?
And I'm Murdock, a.k.a. Adam, a.k.a. the Duck.
A.k.a. the Duck.
And we also got with us, to my right, which might not be the same on your screen.
We all got different boxes.
We do. All 3 of us are married. Where is it?
I don't. See, I can't do any of those because it'll take over my whole screen.
Oh.
Totally lame. Anyway, I'm Owen Brody, also known as Micah, also known as fuck. I got nothing.
Also known as fuck.
Yes, that's
also known as fuck, bro.
Fuck, bro. Oh, by the way, this
Fuck, bro,
podcast,
no.
we say bad words in this podcast. Just a heads up, in case
I think
you're
you can
curious.
do that, right? We should find something to play in the beginning.
Yeah.
Should we just replace it with quack?
We gotta have okay. So I think that we should rip. I'm gonna say rip off a podcast. So I think Kevin Nash's podcast is because it's really quick.
Right.
It just goes right.
Oh, so I'll get my child to say it. This podcast is whatever they
parental. What is it? Parental
advisory.
Yeah.
No, but that's not what they say, right?
Yeah.
Your discretion is advised.
Yes, but in a more childlike voice.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
It has not actually. They don't sponsor us. Maybe someday.
Brand deal.
Yeah.
Allagash White.
We got to get a brand deal. Okay. Am I the only one that does this? Am I the only one that does this? You open up a can and you stick your thumb. Your thumb gets in the top, and then you got to do like the little.
This is what I mean. This is literally gonna be.
That is only you.
Mm-hmm.
That is only you.
It's only me. Like, what do you do? Okay, so when you do that, when you open up the can,
don't put your thumb in the hole.
Yeah, but what if you accidentally do? Then you wipe it on your pants.
Just don't do it.
Oh, I will try not to next time.
Just don't fucking do it.
By the way, there's a third person here who hasn't introduced himself because I'm sticking my thumb inside of cans.
Yeah, hi. I'm Kurt. I have nothing clever to say.
Kurt is our reaction. He's our reaction
that's
boy.
I think we should just start this, right? So introduce the podcast.
Oh, we started it.
Beginning that says we're gonna what?
Yeah, I hit record like a while ago.
This is the intro.
This is episode 1, brother.
So you did get my ass on camera?
Okay. You'll have to figure out when the episode actually airs as to when we started, but it was post ass.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Post ass.
Ass.
AA.
So we really did already start. Okay. This is a good start so far. I didn't even know we were recording. Good stuff.
That's gonna be our new time frame. We're just gonna our years are gonna be this is 1 AA,
yes.
1 after ass.
That's right. Oh,
so when I
man.
actually did the introduction, that was it? Okay.
Yeah, I was like, fuck it, roll with it, man.
Cool.
Like, that was great.
Listen to this podcast or don't. I don't give a fuck. So,
that's right.
but I hope you do, because then we could do more, and it wouldn't just be me listening to it 100 times. So
we're like revenue stream is just Adam.
We come on next week and we're like, guys, thank you so much. We had 100 listens. I know that we all at least listen once, so there's 97 listens that are you guys. So thank you for that. And then Murdock's gonna be like, excuse me, hold on, I had it on repeat
right now.
I'll be like, hold on, I had surgery.
Yeah,
but no, I'm gonna be like, hold on, we already got our 1 millionth view.
Fantastic.
Or listen. I don't know. We're here for all of your needs. All
it's
of
gonna
your
be
senses,
weird,
except for taste.
Well, can we do smell? Can we send smellograms?
Of course.
Oh,
we have microphones. Whoa. Everything shook.
So, just so you, the viewer and or listener, is aware. I mean, if you're viewing this, then you're totally aware. We're planning on putting this on audio and video sources, so we are videotaping this as well.
Your eyes and your ears, or
eyes and your ears, your hands and your
lotion. If you're listening to it and there's something you want to see, go watch the video. And if you're watching it and you're like, I don't want to see that, go listen to the audio.
Or if you're curious, like, I wonder what these guys look like, just don't. It's disappointing.
Yeah, except for me.
Yeah, except for Murdock. Murdock's the attractive one with the mostly salt beard.
Mostly salt.
Salt and pepper beard.
What, yeah. We should have probably known more about, like,
what we were going to do after the intro.
But that's the whole part of this, because it's not planned.
Okay, Murdock,
it's unsanctioned.
So viewers, listeners at home, we all came up with like random topics. So Murdock, pick a topic. Just pick one.
I'll pick a topic, but first I'm going to plug that we do have a Twitter account. So if you would like to send us any topics or things you'd like us to talk about that you think you would be able to relate to, it's at Damn That's Podcast. DMN. That's podcast. So it's just missing the A. So to make it easy, it's at DMN. That's podcast. Send us a tweet. Elon Musk will thank you.
It's not Damn That's Podcasting?
Now it's taken.
Oh,
no, everything was taken. Yeah.
So much.
They do that one. See. Here's a first topic. I really hate that when someone hasn't tweeted since 2006 that you can't get that.
That's changing.
That's changing?
Yeah.
See, look, we're even giving you news.
Educate us.
Listen.
Yeah. They were talking about how I guess inactive accounts. I think it's like 30 or 60 days, or maybe like a few months. If it's inactive for that long, the name goes back into the pool. And it's available for people to take.
Well, I'm going to go follow Damn That's Podcasting, and I'm starting a ticker.
Because I want that. But you know what? I will throw. So what we did is we thought of a bunch of different topics we talk about that a lot of people could relate to. Because when I listen to podcasts, that's what I do. I'm in my car. I listen to them. I didn't pick anything relatable. I text Owen Brody, aka Micah, or Carts, aka Kurt. The only reason I'm doing that is you're going to hear me say different names. I don't want you to be confused, because that's
everybody's got 3 names here.
We got names. It's fine.
That's all right. We're all confused.
But I thought it'd be cool because if we have topics to talk about, it'll be stuff that all of us can relate to when I'm driving in my car. That's what I do. So I'm like, hey guys, I was just listening to this podcast and this topic came up. So
I don't know if you just heard my dog bark, but he likes your topic already.
That's great. Again. His name's Tucker.
Yes.
But I'll start, I guess, the first topic because this is close to my heart for this week because I just had surgery on my hand.
Yeah, how?
And it looks like I just put 2 Band-Aids on it, but that's really not what it looks like.
Surgery. I wish I had a Band-Aid right here. We just put Band-Aids on and be like, we are in solidarity with Murdock.
The Band-Aid Brigade.
We'll get some winter gloves.
We'd just be the Band-Aid.
Bottom of the gloves can be Band-Aids.
Yes, merch.
And then first
More
merch. Yeah.
So what I was going to talk about, though, to both of you, if you've never had this done, is so I had my wisdom teeth out. That was general anesthesia. You're completely under, right? So like they put an IV on me for my wisdom teeth, and they were like, all right, you're going to count to like 100. Now they start at 90, which I don't understand. Why don't they start at 1? Have you count to 10? Probably make more sense. But I don't even think I got up like 2 seconds, and I was out cold. Like I don't remember anything. But here's the thing that happened. When I woke up, I was dancing with the nurses. So the question I had, because I think it was like 2002. So I think it was like right before my senior year or right before my junior year. One of them anyway. But why did they allow me to do that? And 2, that's a scary thing to wake up to. Because first I'm counting down and now I'm waking up and I'm dancing. I don't really understand how that works. I don't think that's very professional.
An idea for a future guest is like, what's the weirdest thing someone's woken up out of anesthesia doing?
We're like, surprise, we got the nurse that you were dancing with.
This is your life.
This is your life. Remember that nurse you danced with? Well, here she is. Yeah. Have you guys ever had, well, I'll go with the first thing, like general anesthesia before? Either of you?
I had my appendix taken out the week of my high school graduation, actually. It sucked. But yeah,
really sucks.
Yeah, I had that. I woke up and the first thing I said was, "Where are my pants?" But nothing real crazy.
Were your pants gone?
I just remember waking up and I was like, "Where are my pants?"
Oh, because you had a hospital gown.
Yes, I was not wearing my jeans.
You gotta give context to that, man. I don't know what.
I mean, most people
with nurses. Maybe someone stole your pants.
Yeah, but maybe when you most people when you wake up from general anesthesia in a hospital, you're not usually like wearing the clothes you came in there with. So my pants wouldn't be on.
Are you wearing other people's clothes
beforehand?
What's that?
Wouldn't you change beforehand?
Yeah.
Change before
it's not like they change you.
Well, yeah, but they put you in like a gown,
Yeah,
so what
the you go to sleep with is what you wake up with. It's not like you just woke up and you say you were taking my appendix, but you took my pants.
I guess I just wanted my pants on. I felt uncomfortable. I don't know.
They're like, all right, we put you under. You're all done. You wake up and you're like, I get this suit on. This is a makeover? This is a weird. And they're like, yeah, sorry. You kept your appendix, though. You're fine.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
So did you have...
I've had anesthetic twice. I had once when I had my tonsils out. I don't really remember that. I remember coming to and being in a wheelchair, like leaving, and I thought I was going like 900 miles an hour. And I was like flying through doors. And then the second time I had a bunch of dental work done, and that was the only time that they put me out because of an injection IV. Like the first time was gas, which I hate. And then the IV one, yeah, they gave me that, and all I remember is I felt a tingle in the bottom of my jaw before I passed out.
A tingle.
The jaw tingle.
Jaw tingle.
Who knows what kind of tingling went in your jaw while you were out? But
yeah,
I don't have the buttons.
Jingle.
But you weren't out with anesthetic this time.
So that was what I was going to say. So this was different. So all of us have had general anesthesia.
Yes.
This is called something, I wish I could remember the name, but it's basically called like twilight anesthesia. So it's the same thing a lot of people, because every single time I asked what kind of anesthesia it was, they were like, oh yeah, you've had a colonoscopy, right? And I'm like, well, one, do I look like a guy that had a colonoscopy? Because
your beard does.
They saw the salt. They saw the salt.
Yeah, they're like, you're 45, so that makes sense. But no, so it's called twilight anesthesia. So what happens is, so kind of like what Kurt was saying, they like made me go 100 miles an hour when surgery was ready. I waited like 2 hours to actually have the surgery, and then when it was ready, they wheeled me in and they put a mask on me, like a gas mask, like a.
They were like, here, smell this.
Yeah, they basically did that. Yeah,
chloroform.
Then I woke up in the hallway. But no, so they did that. But here's the weird part, right? So they put it on there. She's like, I'm going to start giving you some anesthesia. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this will be cool. I never remember, like, not being mentally with it, like general anesthesia. But I remember talking to, I had hand surgery. So, like, carpal tunnel release surgery, if anybody's ever had that. And then I had a trigger finger release surgery.
Are you going to be able to play video games better?
I tried last night, and I was the best. I got Rocket League MVP. Which was actually pretty cool.
There you go.
And then I moved the wrong way, and it hurt for like 25 minutes.
Oh.
I stopped playing video games because. So yes, I think I'm going to be better. But the twilight anesthesia. Last thing I was going to say about it is, I thought they hadn't even started the procedure, and they were done.
Oh.
But I was with it the whole time mentally. Like I said, oh, you guys already finished doing it? And he's like, yeah. I was like, is there a time that I was actually out for this? And they're like, kind of. You're still, like, your brain's still with it, but it's not, like, you don't remember that it happened. Like, it literally was like a missing time, but no missing time for me. Like, it just filled it in. It's a weird thing. I've never, ever had that happen before. If you guys ever get to have it, it's pretty wild. But I would like that over general anesthesia because it's like it just never happened. But I didn't feel anything. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That is pretty wild. I bet it's like, I don't know. That's so weird. Like, I can't even imagine that because like you're there and then, yeah, like you wake up and you're still there, but you never fell asleep. So you're just like, there's just this time jump.
I was literally talking to the nurse about like what I do. They always ask the same question, but like, what do you do for work? Because that just keeps you coherent talking about stuff. And I started talking to her about what I do for work. And then I remember it was like I turned my head to talk to like the surgeon. And I was like, when are you guys going to get this started? And he's like, oh, we just finished your finger. And I was like, what? And that's like the weirdest feeling, but the coolest feeling because it's like I didn't feel any pain. It felt like you knew what was going on, but obviously I didn't. Yeah, it was so far successful. I haven't had my hand go to sleep. It was going to sleep for like 3 years, almost actually 5 years. I couldn't feel my hand. So other than the pain right now, it's cool not having numb fingers all the time. So for anybody that is having that problem, you should go see a doctor because I said it'll fix itself. And
then it
definitely didn't. No, and I have my second one done June 6th.
Smashing your hand on a table.
Yeah, he's been witness to that. Walking in on me, smashing my hand against the table. And he said, what are you doing? I said, trying to make my hand feel better.
Oh, man. Yeah. I had like a weird numbness for a while. I had like a pinched nerve. So I had COVID and like I was really dizzy with COVID. So all I did was sit down and play video games. And I ended up with like a pinched nerve in like my shoulder. My two bottom fingers, like my pinky and my ring finger, were like totally numb. Like I did dishes one day and like cut my finger and had no idea. And I went to a chiropractor and I got a massage, which was actually like the most painful massage I've ever had in my life because I couldn't lay down with like my arms straight. So it was really uncomfortable. But I went to a chiropractor and it eventually got it fixed. But not as serious of an issue as what you had going on.
Well, that's because you probably got ahead of it and didn't say, it'll just fix itself. for 5 years.
I had no choice because like I couldn't sleep. It was awful. It was the worst. It was the worst.
So that wasn't actually on any of the topics I wrote down, but I just figured I'd bring it up because it was a current event.
Oh, current events.
If you will.
If you will.
Big wrestling fans, by the way, here, if you didn't notice that behind me.
Yes.
And behind him.
Yep.
And not behind Carts.
No,
but he is becoming a wrestling fan. There you go.
Yeah.
This isn't a wrestling podcast, but figured to just bring it up since it's right behind me.
That's right.
You got four belts?
I have a lot more.
I moved my head like I can see behind you.
Yeah. I was like,
did you see that? Let me move out of the way.
Hello.
I got 4 belts there and then a brother printer. So
and that's the wrestler. That's the wrestling printer. It's the brother printer.
It is. It's
brother.
Made by Hulk Hogan.
Printed brother.
Inside. Yeah. Like, let me tell you something, dude. I'm gonna print everything, Jack. Oh yeah. Wait, I just did 2 different things together.
Yep.
I don't think I would like it if a printer made those sounds when it was printing. Instead of like the normal printing noise, it's just like, ooh.
I would love if it was like, hey, dude, you're out of black ink, brother. That would be really cool.
Then Hulk Hogan hand delivers it to you.
That'd be awesome.
In a Hulk Hogan monster truck.
Tampa, dude. And my arms are tired, brother. These 24-inch pythons are going to refill your ink, dude. Jack, brother.
Smash you over the head with it.
So not to change the subject, because Kurt and I were talking about the controller tier list and if we had saved the picture and whatever.
I did.
Okay, you did it. Yeah. Should we go into that next?
Sure.
So in post, I'll throw pictures up, images of our tiers. So you guys will have to send these to me.
So we're really just gonna start to fight this early on, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah, why not, right?
You guys are gonna hate mine.
So just to understand the premise, like if you've never seen a tier list, it's S tier is like the top tier, A is the next one, B, C, and D. And we did gaming controllers. Now, not everything is represented here because it doesn't have like the PS5 controller. I actually have like a Evolution of Video Game controller on my wall poster, and I'm just comparing what ones are missing. But anyway, Murdock sent his. Should we all send ours right now?
No, I think we'll do it one by one.
Okay.
I just want to say something really quick, just so everybody else understands this. I sent this out because I was like, hey, we should do this because I think this is something that would be really interesting to talk about. And Adam's like, I don't understand what S, A, B, C, D is.
Right? Look. I mean, unless that's showing my age.
Look at Kurt, open up your phone and look at his tier list. He does not understand.
What don't I understand? Isn't it like grades or no?
S is supposed to be the best.
So let's explain. What?
Yeah. The console.
Okay, explain.
Itself.
Yeah, those are my favorite ones. Like I was trying to put my favorite that I think are the best.
Okay, so
my era of gaming that I like the most.
Murdock, let's go through. I don't even know the best way to do this. Let's go through your S tier, or should we start at D tier? Or should we go
S tier? Let's start the S tier and work our way down.
Should we do
D tier is wrong?
Yeah. Should we do that, or should we do like go by the controller and then go to each person where they ranked it?
No, I think we go through Adam's list.
Okay.
I think we start with the S. I want you to explain your reasoning behind this because there's no wrong answer.
Okay, so when you sent this, right, and they're going to see it obviously on the screen. If you're not, we'll explain it again, obviously, because we're going to go through it right now. But the S tier to me, like when I looked at every controller that was there, I didn't do it based off like, I guess your guys are doing it off of like the evolution of technology and like what the best controllers are.
No, just form factor, brother.
Form factor, brother.
Yeah,
like
so there is no real opinion because it's whatever you think. So
you don't have 3 hands.
Wait, let me look at mine real quick because I think
I don't have 3 hands. What are you talking about? Let's just go through the list.
Okay, let's go through the list because I did rank that one kind of high actually on mine.
So S for me, I have the Sega Genesis controller. The original Sega Genesis is number 1 is what I look at it as. That's something that I grew up on. I've had, by the way, in case you want to date me on how long I played video games for.
Or just date him in general.
Or just date me. You have my Twitter.
In case you want to date him, show up with flowers and a Sega Genesis controller.
Yeah. My wife will kill you.
Well, unless does she like Sega Genesis?
She doesn't like video games.
She can have the flowers.
Yeah, she likes puzzle games. Professor Layton is her favorite, but that'll be a different topic some other time. But yeah, so Sega Genesis to me is like the best controller that came out when I played it. It's got 3 buttons, right? A, B, and C. You get your start rate above it. Like I was looking at it like how easy it was to use based on the most gaming I probably did. So for me, Sega Genesis was probably the most gaming, and N64. That's why I have them up there. So I have Sega Genesis, N64 controller, Super Nintendo. Those are the times that I played video games probably like nonstop. If I got home, I'd play N64 all the time. When you said I need 3 hands to do it, apparently you just don't know how to hold the N64 controller.
Depends on the game.
You'd hold it in the middle by the second.
The second like prong.
I don't know what you call it. Second prong. And then you can control everything with your left hand. And then the right hand does all the buttons on the right. That's why I did it that way. But those are the 3 systems that kind of define my growing up gaming the most time period for me. I mean, I guess PlayStation 2 would probably be the next time I played video games the most. But like that's how I categorized it on the systems that I owned and the ones I played the most and the ones I thought the controller like helped the most. So in the S tier I had Sega Genesis, N64, Super Nintendo.
Should we go through everybody's S tier?
No, just
no. Okay.
I think we should just do the S tier and probably like your D tier. I don't think we need to go through the whole entire thing. People can take a look at it if they want to.
Yeah,
I mean, it's gonna be up. Everyone can see it, right? So yeah. I mean, it makes sense. My one thing, I agree with the N64. Like that's pretty high on my list too that you'll see. But you put the Switch controller and the GameCube controller at D tier.
Ooh.
So my S tier is pretty straightforward because there's only like one right answer, and it's a GameCube controller.
So that's the only one that qualifies as S tier out of all of these?
Yeah, because like everything else is so the same. Like you look at all the PlayStation, cool, like you changed it a little bit. And the GameCube like was, hey, I'm gonna be different, but it's still used by like if you play like Smash Brothers competitively, like they always will use a GameCube controller.
So I do agree with you with that, and the PlayStation ones are the same. So like in mine, a lot of the PlayStation controllers are kind of lumped together. But I do feel like controllers still have that form factor. Like even if you play like, so to give you an idea, like my S tier, also GameCube controller, because I feel like the GameCube controller, I don't know if I showed you this, Kurt. I have the GameCube Joy-Cons for the Switch. Have you seen those?
Yeah, you just like slide them on.
Yeah. But they're like GameCube, and I love it. Absolutely love it, because I feel like the GameCube is like one of the best controllers out there. So that is my number 1 S tier pick. And then I have the Xbox One controller, like the current Xbox controller, the Nintendo Pro controller, which I also feel like is a very solid controller, and then the PlayStation 4 controller, which would actually be the PlayStation 5 controller if that was on here. But those are my S tier because those are just tremendous controllers. I had to take some of the emotion out of it because the N64, which we'll talk about in a minute, the N64 controller is near and dear to my heart because I probably spent more hours with that controller than any of these. But I as far as an overall controller, I had to bump it down.
See, I think that's why it all changes, though, if you think about it, because like,
well, everybody has a different approach.
Well, like Sega Genesis for me, I think you said take the emotion out of it, but I said Sega Genesis for me, like Jungle Strike and Urban Strike, Desert Strike, those are some of my favorite games. There's some Poltergeist game, I don't even remember.
A lot of strikes.
A lot of strikes.
Yeah. A lot of strikes, but there was this like Poltergeist game where you acted like a ghost and went into the items and scared the family. Like it's all those, for me, is the exact opposite of what you said. I couldn't take the emotion out. Those are times that I remember my dad beating my ass in NHL 93, and he was the type of dad that didn't let me win. He just beat me more and told me to shut up. So,
dude,
while I cried because I lost in NHL 93. So like those are things I remember, or like how I was killing him and then in Madden and he just I was killing him. No, I was killing him in Madden. We were playing that, and he hit me, and I don't remember which which one it was, but like the ambulance comes on the screen and just runs over all the players.
Oh, so he hit you in the game and not like
in the game.
I was killing him and then he hit me.
Yeah, it was self-defense. So, but no, that's what I mean. Is like for me, I couldn't pick anything other than the way it made me feel to play the game. So I kind of feel like that's how like Kurt would be too. Is like maybe he grew up on GameCube. I never owned a GameCube. I never played a GameCube.
Oh, you were missing out.
I don't care about that. No, I don't think I was. I'm not a Nintendo guy, if you've noticed.
Yeah, we noticed because you have like all the Nintendo controllers like down at the bottom.
We all agree that the Dreamcast is shit, right?
Yeah, we do. So yes, the similarities, the Dreamcast and like the Wii U gamepad are like very low on everybody's list. I think I put the Wii U gamepad as a C tier, and that was only because I thought it was like clever. Because you could kind of play like games by it, like I remember playing Wind Waker like by itself, but you had to be like within 20 feet of the console to play it.
Well, for me, I feel like you and Karts are similar in games you guys play. Where I would be the one that's completely different than the two of you. Like there's some games we all like to play, but like I would be different than what you guys play all the time. You guys are big Nintendo fans. So I feel like that's why you would say that. Because that's something you...
I mean, that's what I grew up with was the Nintendo. And then I did play a lot of Sega Genesis. I do have a funny story for another time. I might have told you guys this offline about the time.
You put that in your bottom though.
Because I don't like the controller itself.
Can we just get to the story then? You put a Sega Genesis in your butt?
No. That's not the story. No. Murdock was talking about his dad beating him in NHL. And I was thinking about the time that I beat my dad so bad in NHL 94 that he grabbed me by the hand, brought me outside, brought me over to the neighbor's house, and goes, play my son in NHL 94, because apparently before this, I didn't realize, but my dad and his neighbor would play NHL 94, and his neighbor would always kick his ass. And then it turned into like my dad, because he was such a great role model, winning money because he was betting money that, my son will beat you, winning money out of me beating his neighbor in NHL 94. It was hilarious.
So
I was very good. It got to the point where like he would get mad. My dad's neighbor would get mad and be like, okay, you have to pick a random team. So I'd have to turn my back. I'd have to hold up on the stupid Sega Genesis joypad and just like wait. And then he would tell me when to stop and I would stop. And he'd always try to like make me land on like the Whalers because they were not good that year.
Yeah, they were not good.
No, they were not good. Or like the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I always had to like, get stuck with the crappy teams, and I still beat him every time, and it was hilarious to me. But
so basically, your dad just sharked you around to beat people so he can make money off of you.
Yeah. He was like $20
gaming.
$20, my kid can beat you, and he was like, "What? I'm great at this game. Your kid's like 9. I can't." No, and he's like, "Fuck yeah."
Basically, you were like that movie, The Wizard, where you were like California, and then they brought you around for that. Neither of you probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Fred Savage is in that movie.
Yeah.
No, it was more like come next door and see, because I think my dad wanted to see me lose. And then when I started winning, he was like, bet you $20 he'll win. My dad was very
$20.
Yeah. $20. My dad was very
addiction?
What's that?
You had a gambling addiction?
No, he was just a dick. He was an immature dick. Like, no joke, I swear to you, this is how immature my biological is or was. I mean, he's still alive, so he is probably still immature. We used to rent a video game every time we went to his house because he, didn't want to actually like spend time with us. But he and I would always play sports games. So we went to the video rental store, which is down the road from his house, and we always stopped there on the way. And he goes, "Oh, let's get this basketball game. This one, I think it's new. Like I haven't played it yet." Brings it up to the counter, and the guy on the counter like totally fucking sells him out. And he's like, "You're renting this game again?" Apparently he'd been renting it and practicing. And then we get home, and he's like, I was like, "What are the buttons?" And he goes, "Oh yeah." And then he's telling me the wrong friggin' buttons so that I like lose. And I'm like, "This is bullshit." And then you
still beat him.
I still came back after half and beat him.
He's like, damn it, I gotta rent this more. That's pretty bad.
No, he threw the controller and was like, this game sucks. And then I wasn't allowed to play the PlayStation the rest of the weekend. It was like, wow, this is great parenting.
I want to bring up one thing before we get too far from the tiers. And
then we did get far away from it.
But we can let that die. That's fine. But like, you put the Duke controller so far down, like you're gonna get a lot of hate for that.
I did put
the Duke controller.
Okay, so the Duke controller is the big giant Xbox controller, and here's why it's so far down.
Oh, I did that too.
So I was not an Xbox guy until the Xbox 360. However, a buddy of mine would invite me over to play Halo with him and his other friends, and there was 4 of us that would go to his house and 4 of us that would go to our other friend's house, and we'd play against each other 4-on-4, and we'd play till like 2 a.m. It was awesome. One of my favorite gaming memories. But I would always make sure to get there super early because he had 3 of the like S controllers and 1 Duke, and I did not want to end up with Duke. So I made sure I got there early enough to get an S controller.
That makes sense because that's the reason why I hit it too. The thing was just giant. I thought I was playing a friggin' like keyboard.
It was huge.
Like a musical keyboard
and
to play it.
Let me bring the picture back up here. Wasn't there like the two buttons, the black and like silver button were like
the black and white buttons.
Yeah, they were in weird spots.
They were. They were ahead of their time, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say that system was ahead of its time. I got lucky to have one because I remember playing some basketball game, and I was like, the graphics on this are ridiculous. I kept saying it the whole time as I played it on my 51-inch projection TV that I thought was way ahead of its time.
Baller!
Like, I was as tall as the players, and then if I went back and looked at it now, it probably looks like crap.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I remember playing that, and then I did the same thing. I think I had a 360, and I went back to play it at my dad's house, and I was like, what is this controller? Why is it
awful
as big as me? This makes no sense. Yeah.
I did rank.
I learned today, Duke. Didn't know that. Didn't know that's what it was called. Why is it called that?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone named it Duke.
I don't have the backstory. I can find it. I'm sure I can find it.
That's literally the first time I've ever heard that.
Yeah, that was like the nickname for it. See if you can find that, Kurt, because I'm curious.
The one thing I was mad about this whole list that wasn't on there, because I do feel like it is my favorite controller by far right now, is the PlayStation 5 controller.
This is a really sad story, actually.
Oh, no. Okay,
like,
read it.
Google something, and it gives you like a brief excerpt from like an actual article that answers your question.
Yeah.
And this makes me seem like it makes it seem sad. So it says the Duke name came from Brett Schnepf. Butchered that last name.
Brett Schnepf.
Sure. The project manager of hardware for Microsoft during the Xbox's development, whose son was named Duke.
Oh, no.
And then it goes on afterwards to say, the controller was oversized and not very well received, much like, and then it ends. So I can only assume that they also meant his son.
His son is very large.
Oversized.
And not received.
You can't handle him very well. And he's got these extra 2 buttons.
Yeah, and you don't want to press them because they're just in weird spots.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's too funny. That's too funny.
Yeah, now you know it's
and
called,
now I know.
And now you know.
It's called the Duke, and someone's like, why is it called that? I'm like, well, let me tell you the story.
He had this fat son.
His son was fat as hell, and he wasn't very well liked.
Yeah, he wasn't received well by his parents. They didn't want him.
Why is it called the Duke? Well, that was his name.
We did both put like the original NES controller in about the same tier. Murdock put it in A tier, which I'm assuming has an emotional attachment, and we put it in B tier.
A lot of things I choose, bro, are because of emotional attachment. So.
I like I said, I took the emotion out of it and just went by supreme comfort of the controller itself.
Oh,
if I went by emotion, I probably would have put that like an S. What's that, Kurt?
I would have put the N64 way lower if we're going by like 100% form factor. Like obviously, like form factor falls into it a little bit, but like form factor. But I mean, you can't go wrong with the NES controller though. Like for its time and what it was, like you didn't need all these bells and whistles. You didn't need a black and white button. You didn't need an oversized sun that wasn't.
That's exactly why I picked the Sega Genesis controller, because I thought if you look at that, that's like the evolution of the NES controller, because it's simplistic. You have your start button as close as you need to, and we added an extra button instead of A and B. You have A, B, and C. Yeah.
So the reason that I put the N64 controller in A tier though was I thought the dynamic of like some games you're holding it the middle and the right, and some games you're holding it like the left and the far right.
And other games like Mario Party, you're making a hole in your palm.
Yes,
trying to break the analog stick.
There was so much versatility. Or in GoldenEye, you could use 2 and hold them both in the middle and do them that way. Did you know that?
You could hold 2 controllers?
Yes, you could map 2 controllers when you were playing GoldenEye.
A lot about your childhood here.
Yeah, you could map 2 controllers and use the sticks. Like one would be your turn stick and one would be your strafe stick.
So you'd be like double thumbing it?
Double thumbing it, brother.
I thought you were playing like multiplayer against yourself.
No, you use 2 controllers. It's one of the control schemes.
Got sad.
He's like, all right, I'm going to be Pierce Brosnan against Pierce Brosnan.
No, we used to actually. The best part about like my childhood when it comes to gaming was my parents were both into video games. Like my mom and my stepdad. When I refer to parents, it's those two. They were both into video games. So like as a kid, I always had like the coolest games because my parents enjoyed them. So like when Zelda came out, like I always had that. Like when Mario Kart came out, I had that. GoldenEye, same thing. And some of my best like gaming memories are playing GoldenEye like with my parents. It was like our thing. We'd have dinner and then we'd play GoldenEye, and it was like me, my brother, my mom, my stepdad, and it was great. It was so much fun.
See, mine's the opposite. So nobody in my family liked to play video games except for me and my dad. He's the only one. So like we played all the Halos together, all the way through co-op, all of them together, which was so much fun watching the flood. But I think my favorite memory with like video games would be all the SmackDown wrestling series for, I think, PlayStation. Because me and my friends would go to local wrestling down the road from my dad's house, EWA. So shout out to them for them not listening. But we'd go down there, but after we'd go back to my dad's house because it was only like maybe a mile away. So we'd walk back. So it'd be myself and 2 of my friends and my dad. We'd play SmackDown versus Raw, and I had a replica belt, which is actually the same belt that's at the top, but down at the bottom that you can't see because it's a replica. So I still have it from that time. It's from like 2001. And we would play like Royal Rumble, and whoever won got the belt at my house. And my dad would love it because he'd always be Stone Cold Steve Austin or Chris Benoit.
We'll have to
and
beat
he
that
would
out.
Beat the shit out of all of us. And I just loved it because he'd grab the belt and be like, yeah, you guys can't beat me. I'm the champ. Cutting a promo on us in the middle of my fucking living room.
That's awesome.
When we're like 10 or 12, I don't know how old we were. 15? That sounds probably better. That's probably around the same age. But yeah, so that's what's my thing is like playing video games with my dad was always the thing. He's the one that either, I think it was good that he didn't let me win when I cried. He beat me because he showed me that you can't win every game that you play.
He beat you in the game, right?
In the game, yeah.
And in real life.
In real life.
Yeah, when I cried, he beat me.
He said, hey, son, we got to match these two together, real life and reality. In reality? Real life and video games. And then he made sure they matched.
Reality is often different from real life.
Correct, especially in The Sims.
So, Kurt, what's your best gaming memory? Like, we've talked about ours. How'd you get into gaming?
It's a really sad story. I don't want to bring the mood down.
Are you also named after a controller?
No.
Or you inspired a controller?
No. Yeah, I wasn't well received.
You were the Wii U controller?
Yeah. Just the block that you carry around. No, so my first like real experience with video games was the N64. As you all were talking, and I think, Adam, you said something around like 2002. And I'm like, damn, I was really young there.
Damn, that's podcast.
Damn, that's aging.
Ooh.
Yeah, as you stroke your white beard. Ew. No, mine's a really sad story. So like the very first thing I ever played. So I had a half brother. He died, but he would come over and he'd play Legend of Zelda. And so that's what really got me into Zelda. And we used to play GoldenEye and stuff like that. And then I remember he handed me his Nintendo 64 because he was moving, whatever. And I was like, oh, cool. Like I'm gonna play this or whatever. And in Ocarina of Time, Adam, I'll explain this for you. But you go through like the first, not even half, like the first third of the game as Child Link. You do stuff, you become an adult. I couldn't figure out how to do that. I know that you could. I didn't know how. And I remember calling and talking to him on the phone. And I was like, hey, like, how do you become an adult? Like, what happens? And he explained, like, you have to go do all this stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, that's really cool. And he's like, but don't worry, like, you don't want to be an adult. Like, just stay a kid. Like, internal thought with that type of thing. And then he died 3 days later. So that was the last conversation I had with him.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So yeah, that's the sad story, but that's why I like Nintendo so much.
Well, it's one of those things that at least you have a story.
Exactly, right?
In the gaming. So even though it's sad, it technically isn't sad because that's what made you game, right?
Yeah.
Is that what started it pretty much? You didn't play games before that, I'm assuming.
No, not really. And I mean, like, obviously technology back then versus now, like, love Zelda so much. There's nothing voice based. Now, of course, a lot of it is voiced, but it's all text based. And I was like 4 years old playing through it. And like, it taught me to read because there's no way you would learn how to do anything else. And my computer just told me Heavy Rain soon. So that's fun.
Never played that game.
I played that game. It was great.
Great game.
I like how this whole podcast is pretty much turned into gaming.
Damn, that's great. Gaming. Hey, that's fun though.
That's gaming.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't remember where I was going with that thought at all anymore because it got derailed because I saw that it said Heavy Rain. But yeah, that's like my only real gaming story.
I have a ton of
keeping on the Zelda trend. I guess I'll share this since I never have actually played any per se, but I was at my cousin's house. Well, I don't really like it. I don't know. Like when I've watched it, it just isn't a thing. Like
watching is totally different than playing.
Totally different.
But I was at my cousin's house and we had Super NES, and he's a huge gamer. His name is Chad, and we would play wrestling. What? We'd play wrestling, like figures and stuff like that, and then we would play. I'd watch him play video games because I didn't really play at all. I didn't have a Super Nintendo at the time. And I was like, oh, you have like the newest system that's out? Like, what are you playing? And I just remember like pretty much played the entire. There's only one Zelda game on Super Nintendo, I'm assuming.
Correct. Link to the Past.
Yep. Yeah. So he'd play Link to the Past and he got to who's the boss? Not Tony Danza, but in the game.
Ganon.
Yeah, Ganon. So I remember this clearly because he played through the entire game when I got there, like in the morning.
Yeah.
Until it was time for us to like eat dinner. And I remember we had to pause it because I think don't you throw something at him or something a bunch of times, or I don't know. I just remember you had to hit him a bunch of times in order for him to die.
Yeah, you do.
How it is
in everything.
It's always
in every game. But I remember we paused it and went 8 like in 2 seconds so we could get back to me watching him beat the game. And I remember I think he lost. I don't know where it starts you back off. I don't know if it starts you back at the beginning or not, but I remember he was super pissed, and so was I because I wanted to see him beat him. So maybe. I think you're right. I think the system turned off.
Oh shit!
And I don't know if it saved then or not. So he had to get back to facing
all before Ganon. The time of auto saves,
right?
And shit like that.
Man,
I was talking to Oprah one night about this. I don't think I got a Steam Deck and I downloaded Jungle Strike. Surprising since I just already mentioned that a bunch of times, but it's up on my shelf actually in mint box.
Ooh,
it's my favorite game ever. But yeah, so I was playing that on the Steam Deck, and the first level you're like going around like killing terrorists so they don't destroy like monuments and stuff like that. And I remember I killed a civilian and it said return to base. And I said, oh, okay, cool. I'll do that like when I'm done with the missions. And I couldn't because that meant I lost. I played it for almost an hour straight and I killed 1 civilian and lost. Now you can go around a game and just run through the whole level and kill 20 civilians and still beat it somehow, which makes no sense because how would that be okay?
There's a whole series based around that. It's called Grand Theft Auto.
Yes. Yes.
But like, I mean, these games nowadays, you can save it and then like get back to it later on. And like, I remember you can't do that in these games for like Sega Genesis and Nintendo and stuff like that. You had to pause it all night and get back to it the next day or something and hope the power didn't go out or hope your parents didn't turn off the system or something like that. It's just crazy to think how that stuff's changed back in my day. So I'm a grandpa.
Speaking of your Jungle Strike game that I still have no idea what it is, I remember playing. You're just like looking up.
Well, I'm gonna stand up. You're gonna see my junk on the camera, so
then you don't have to stand up.
I'm gonna.
We'll just censor it. Anyway, where I was going with this is like I've never I don't know that game, and the only thing
it's a helicopter game, so you should like it. It's not planes.
It's not planes. I
know Kurt's a big fan of planes.
Yeah, I'm a big plane guy.
Even the movie with Dane Cook?
Don't think I've seen that.
Oh, it's an animated one. It was like Cars, but with planes. Not very good.
Jungle Strike. Oh,
there was a bunch of games like that. There was Jungle Strike. There was Desert Strike.
It says right on the front, direct sequel to Desert Strike.
Yeah, so that Desert Strike was the first game, right? Desert Strike was the first game. It was all right. Like it was okay. It was in the desert. So I know you guys can guess that. But in Jungle Strike, the first level is you're in Washington, D.C. trying to save all the monuments there. And you got these I know back in the day they probably used like vans that had like rockets on them and stuff like that.
The shoes or the vehicles?
The vehicles.
Okay, I was just curious because I just pictured
rockets to his shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the terrorists just had vans. They shipped them to them with rockets already installed.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so you do that. But then the next level, I remember you got to pick a different vehicle. So you'd land your helicopter, and there'd be a hovercraft, and you'd use that. So that's why I love this one. And then Urban Strike tried to get all crazy and do on ground, third person.
Like Contra,
and that
kind of?
ruined it. Yeah, it was kind of like that, and it ruined it because the whole game was about a helicopter or being in a different vehicle, and they made it so you weren't doing that. So, but yeah, that's my favorite game. I bought it because I've never seen it inside a package since I don't know when was this released. It even has the old Electronic Arts logo on it. That's not going to show up at all.
No, it won't.
I vaguely remember the logo though. Vaguely.
What'd you say?
I said I vaguely remember the logo.
So 1993.
1993.
Yeah, so I haven't seen it in a box. It's always been outside the box at a hobby shop or a video game shop where it has
I wasn't born yet.
I mean, I wasn't that old either.
1993? Oh, I was I was 9. I was beating my dad's neighbor in hockey.
And beating his
You were beating your dad?
No, my dad's neighbor in hockey.
Your dad would just bring you over and be like, beat up the neighbor.
Beat up the neighbor,
give me $20.
He's not going to hit you back. You're only 9.
I didn't expect you to just have a random game box.
That's so funny.
So again, like I said, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with that stuff. I know cards have come back a lot, collecting Pokemon cards, basketball cards. I know that's a huge thing now. That was all stuff I did when I was growing up that none of that stuff is worth money now because they're not I don't know if you guys have looked, half the hobby boxes you can buy for trading cards are $300 each, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's crazy because of how much those cards would be worth. If you pull a 1 of 1, it could be worth $1 million, which is nuts. But the new thing now that I just read about the other day was that stuff like this and VHS tapes and stuff that are still in mint box, you can get them graded.
Really?
Yeah, and they're worth more money. So I just saw the other day, because again, I'm a wrestling fan, someone did WrestleMania 14. They sent in 3 WrestleMania 14 VHS tapes and had them graded. They came back as 9s and 10s. I mean, wow. That's weird to me that that's something that somebody will want, but when you think about how long ago it was, I guess it would be. But I know because you guys are Zelda fans, the gold Zelda NES.
Very sought after.
If you get that graded, if you look them up on eBay, they're worth a ton.
Yeah. I had that as a kid. I had the gold cartridge. It was probably all beat to shit though, because I played it so much.
Well, so that's the thing is half the stuff that's worth a shit ton of money now, right? When I was growing up, like shoes, right? I had the best Jordans. That was the one thing my dad always made sure of because my parents were divorced. So I saw my dad 2 days a week, which I'm sure a lot of you can relate. But he would always make sure he got he would make sure he got my basketball shoes for me. And he always said you can pick out any ones as long as they're not ridiculously expensive. Back then, Jordans weren't that much money compared to what they are now.
Right.
But it was still around $120. It's still pretty expensive shoes back then. Now those shoes would be $300 or something. But some of the shoes I had, man, would be worth $1,000 now. But they wouldn't be because I beat the shit out of them because they were shoes. And you just wore them. That's what they were for. They were for me to play basketball in and sweat in. And then after I was done in basketball season, I wore them till they fell apart, and then we threw them in the trash. But if I had those now in the box, mint condition, which I wasn't thinking about when I was a kid, I'd probably be a millionaire.
There you go.
So it's just weird to think about that stuff.
Like, you know, like $100 on Jordans recently.
Like Beanie Babies. Wait, you did?
Yeah. Not recently. About a year ago.
Which Jordans did you buy?
The not for resales.
Did you sell them?
No.
No, they're not for resale. He can't sell them.
Because you're not, like, the whole point of it is, like, to have them, and like on the back it says no pictures that you can't see because it keeps blurring.
Oh, it keeps blurring.
Out.
Yeah, you should not have the blur effect on.
And then like the top of the toes say like please crease me because they want you to wear it. And I just thought that was a really cool thing. So I bought a pair on StockX.
Have you worn them?
Are you ever?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
You've worn them?
Oh yeah.
Where?
I wore them
on his feet. Duh.
Yeah. I was going to wear them one day and then it started raining and I was like, I don't want to destroy them. I just want to be able to wear them.
Yeah, so here you go. So Zelda original NES game, gold cartridge, complete an original box, right? And it has like the dust sleeve on it. So this isn't even graded. $500.
That's wild.
That's a lot.
I was trying to find one that's, oh, here you go. Graded, and it's only an 8.5, and it's not in a box or anything. It's just the literal game cartridge. Graded 8.5, $3,900.
That's wild to me. That's wild.
So you can look up like VHS tapes that are graded and stuff. It's just crazy how much this stuff is taken off for grading things.
I do have one other gaming related topic that we've been talking about, like old games and things like that. What is the one game that you've beaten over and over and over and over again?
Like I just keep going back and playing it?
Yeah, like if you were to look at your entire history of video game playing, what game did you complete the most times?
So it has to be a game like you've completed, like from start to finish, not like a game that you play occasionally.
Yeah, I would say like complete start to finish. I mean, if it's like
3.
GTA 3?
GTA 3 for me. I played the shit out of that game. And I remember because my mom would come up and yell at me because she'd call me for like dinner like 3 or 4 times. And I'd do the whole, yeah, I'll be right down. And then it's like 15 minutes later and she's like, if you don't get down here and then she doesn't sound like that, but she'd be like, if you don't get down here, we're going to eat without you. And I'd be like, I got to get this trophy. I got to find this last whatever. I thought, didn't you have to find like monkeys or something? No, that was Harry Potter. There was you had to find like things around to get trophies, or that was like, I feel like GTA 3 was like the first trophy type of game other than Halo. Like they made you complete the whole game by finding things to get like hidden.
So it definitely wasn't the first, because the first one that I remember that had like a percentage value tied to how much you completed in the game. The first one I remember was Donkey Kong Country, and you had to find all the bananas. And if you did that, you could get 100%. And then when you did that, you went into like your little banana cave, and it was like Donkey Kong would do a little dance or something, I think, if I remember correctly. I'm going to have to look that up.
I still don't
remember what you're talking about.
I don't think that there's a game that I've beat a lot. So you'll have to go with yours before I can think of mine.
Murdock, do you got one?
You just said GTA 3.
Oh yeah, GTA 3. Jesus.
Yeah, it was packages. That's all.
Packages. That's right.
The picture, the package looks like cocaine. So
I would have to
had to find those little white boxes or whatever. Right?
Yeah, they look like little drug packs.
Yeah. And I'd steal the Banshee. I'd steal the Banshee from the auto place all the time because it was the easiest car to steal.
Yep.
But yeah, that's mine. GTA 3 is probably, again, PlayStation 2. My parents gave me the choice of going to driver's ed or getting a PlayStation 2, which I don't know why they gave me that choice, because clearly every kid's going to pick a PlayStation 2. And
yeah.
They wondered why I didn't want to get my license.
Like, I'll learn how to drive in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. I was like, you're still going to drive me, right?
Yeah, like, whatever.
PS2. So it looks like I'm winning on this and you're losing gas. So, yeah.
So my number one is easily the original Resident Evil 2. Like, I beat that game over and over and over and over. I had it down to a science. I was like speedrunning that game before speedrunning was like a thing. It was awesome.
If you're running away from the zombies.
Yeah, I just knew where everything was, but I just play through it, and I'm like, this is fun to me. I don't know why I stuck to that game so much, but I just played it over and over and over. I can't get another game that like gets me that invested. Like other than sports games, I feel like I can put a lot of hours into, but like a story-based game, like once I've finished it, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not going to go back.
Yeah, I'm glad we did this
again.
podcast because it's funny to me because you both have the most similar gaming interests. Like you're both big Resident Evil fans. You're
I
both
love
big
Resident
Nintendo
Evil
fans. You're both big Zelda fans, and I'm in the corner here being like, I like Jungle Strike. like play helicopters and picking up people with my wench.
Link to the Past would be the other one that I've beat a lot, and Super Metroid is another one that I've beat a lot. Actually, I do have to say, in recent memory, this just popped into my brain, Metroid Dread I did beat 3 times. That's a lot for me. I usually don't even finish games, so for me to beat it 3 times is crazy.
And I don't know what Metroid Dread is.
Very good game. You should play it. Have you ever played a Metroid game?
No.
So Metroid is like an open world-ish kind of game.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
I just never played it.
But like you get like abilities and you're like, oh, I got to go back to this spot and like get that because
isn't it like one of the first like women superheroes in a game? Because isn't that who was underneath the whole thing?
Yeah.
Or has it been different Metroids?
But and the original NES game was the first women main character, but you didn't know until you finished the game.
Wasn't it only like if you finish the game at like 100% though?
I'm not sure because I never finished that one, but I do know that like we had like the passcode that like you could put in and it would tell you, it would like give you like the Zero Suit, Samus edition basically, where it was just the girl.
Yeah, Samus.
So, Adam, did you ever play like Castlevania?
A couple times because he had like a whip, right? He was like,
same concept though, same style of game.
Yes, same style of game.
I never get into it. I think it's hard for me sometimes because I need to like really be invested in it and to want to finish it or even play it. And like a lot of the Nintendo games for me never were like that. I think like Killer Instinct was a game like that for me, which is like a random game and not really a Nintendo game. Like the ones you guys are always talking about are ones that I never really got interested in, like Zelda, like what is it? Ice
Climbers. We haven't talked about Ice Climbers at all. What are you talking about?
No, not today, but I'm just saying like those are like known Nintendo games. I think the only like known Nintendo game I played a lot was Super Mario. That's not a known Nintendo game.
Ice Climbers.
Ice Climber. Like
there was one game. There was one Ice Climbers game, and then the rest was like
Excite Bike. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, Excite Bike.
I made that joke. Yeah. That's what I meant. Not Ice Climber. I don't know where that came from. That's like water balloon fighting game, stuff like that.
Oh man,
wasn't there a
balloon
game?
Fight?
Yeah, balloon fight. But that's not like a known game. But you know what I'm talking about? Like there's Nintendo like specific games that everybody likes, and like I feel like Metroid and like Zelda, like those are games you guys really liked. And that's what I mean. I'm not a big Nintendo fan, but I was a huge like Sega fan, and then it went away, which sucks.
So did you really like Sonic?
Yes. I played every Sonic, even Sonic Pinball.
Oh, Sonic Pinball was great. Speaking of Sonic Pinball,
like Emerald Hill, when you hit like stuff like that, which I think kind of sounded like it.
Speaking of Sonic Pinball, I gotta pee.
Here's an idea, just talking amongst ourselves as a group for Damn That's Podcasting. I think we should time our pee breaks together, to make sure that we all just go at the same time. Yeah, so I mean, the first episode, I guess, turned into gaming, which it's not a surprise for me because you guys love gaming stuff, and so do I. But we're completely different, I feel like, and I think a lot of you out there probably are too. But I think that makes sense for the first episode. Just turned into gaming.
I have a suggestion. I think every episode should end with a little bit of homework for Mr. Murdock.
Me?
Yeah, because Kurt and I have all these games that we've played and you haven't played them. So let's make you play some games.
So I'm gonna break the fourth wall for a second before we assign homework to Adam.
Maybe do something I don't want to do.
Right?
No, well that, but we're gonna be recording probably 2 back-to-back, right?
True.
So they're not gonna come out at the same time. They're gonna be back-to-back. So I don't want people to be like, "Hey, yeah, he didn't do the homework assignment." Yeah, because for you it's been a few days. For us, it's been 15 minutes.
Right.
That'd be great.
Well, so but
Hey guys, yeah. So thanks a lot. I thought Zelda was really good. Zelda really saved the princess that time and beat up Ganon, and I thought it was really cool how
Zelda
the graphics were better and Zelders did a great job.
The Zelders, yeah. No, I think so maybe we don't do homework. I don't know. I was just thinking of something that'd be funny just to get Murdock's take on a game he's never played before, and then he could give us homework on stuff too.
Well, if we all ever get together for something like this,
yeah,
you can have me play it.
True.
In person, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, a live playthrough, we could stream on Twitch of you playing this game live.
Yeah, damn, that's podcasting together.
That's
Adam
right.
versus Ice Climbers.
Yes. The world-renowned Nintendo game, Ice Climbers. Yes.
So I guess we'll wrap this up then.
Yeah, do you want to do another 3-second pause and then another wrap up? Because I kind of butchered the wrap up by going, "Hey, let's give him homework."
No, I say we keep it in.
Okay,
let's
keep
part
it
of
in.
The outro.
No
This is
homework.
part of the outro.
This is it.
Well, this has been Murdock from Damn That's Podcasting for our first initial episode. That's gonna be about gaming.
Gaming, brother.
It's crazy that it stayed on point for that the entire time. Sorry, I'm ruining the outro again. Bye.
Bye.